Welcome to Odd Musings with, what's the name?
Scott and Brett.
You heard him.
All right.
I'm
Thanks,
D.
Steve.
Snyder.
Hey, welcome to another Odd Musings. We're your hosts. I'm Brett Pinson.
And I'm Scott Zambelli.
And we are live across the interwebs here on Facebook and YouTube still. Not sure what we're getting on the YouTubes anymore, but I still throw it up there because we'll see what happens. YouTube may be dead as far as I know. I don't really hardly watch it at all.
Yeah, I don't know what that uses for anymore.
Yeah. So, but we got a fun show here. We're going to have Rodney
right.
from Hasm joining us, talking about the new Kickstarter and
Rampage, Roadkill Rampage.
Right, a little quick.
Which is appropriate because you know what today is?
Yeah, what is today?
Today is National Rat Catchers Day. I am not making that up.
Wow, that kind of fits into everything we're doing here today.
Knew? So. Who knew? There's a website you can go to. It's also National Hammock Day and National Panache Fudge Day.
Hey, I can get into those last two. I'm not much into the rats, but I can get into some hammock and some Panache fudge.
That's right.
That'd be fun. So cool. Hey, we want to get Rodney on here quick. So let's get some business done first. And so Scott, why don't you kick us off first with Team Titans of Real Estate?
All right, Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. Here at Team Titans Real Estate, we put our relationships as number one. We care about you, your goals, and of course, we want to sell or buy a house with you, but we are here for all of your real estate needs. It's a crazy market out there right now, but real estate's still happening. So give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation. Like I said, whether you're buying or selling a home or just you're thinking about it a year from now and you just want to know what kind of update should you do that will give a return to you, but without overdoing it on your house. So give us a call. My number is 586-549-6096. You can find us on teamtitansrealestate.com, which I have up here on the screen, or give Jill Webler a call. That's 586-277-2145. And that's her there. I'm actually in the office here. So say hi. And so we're here for you for all your real estate needs.
Well, Jill's a good friend of the show. She's been on a few times. In fact, she had to fill in for you last week for a few minutes while you took care of some business.
That's right. Some business.
So some business in it. So, but yeah, we've got another great sponsor as well. Loringer Family Chiropractic, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. We're at Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. They offer on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy. CBD oil is available there too from one of our former sponsors as well, Stony Creek Hemp, which I still use and get from there. And they do this all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244. You can visit them online at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. We always have links to everything up at oddmusings.com under our sponsors page. You can definitely check out things there. And Loringers, I was there yesterday, got adjusted. I've been working extra hard these last couple weeks, kind of going for some bonuses and that, and definitely to keep me healthy, keep me going. The chiropractor has been helping a lot, especially in today's day of COVID. They do a lot to keep you healthy, and having a better immune system helps fight all forms of viruses, bacteria, and that. So definitely check out your local chiropractor if you're not in the area, but I highly recommend Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC.
Awesome.
So, hey, let's get things going here, and we will get this switched over here because we're going to bring Rodney in. I think Rodney's ready. Rodney, put your pants on, man.
Oh,
there he is.
Nobody said I had to wear pants.
Well, then sit down. How you doing, man? We ain't seen each other in too long.
I know.
Oh, my God, it's been way too long. I'm doing good. I working extra hard, like you said there in the pitch. Just staying busy, man. Since this all has fallen apart, if you want to look at it that way, we've ramped it up. And so it's just full steam ahead, and we've been just busy as heck. And I've been doing my part-time driving job as well. So busy.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's been on our end too. It's been interesting. It's I was excited to see you had a Kickstarter when you guys announced it here the last couple weeks, and that's why and it launched last night. And here, let's give a quick update to everybody before we really get into everything. But you're at $450 of the $1,000 goal. You're almost halfway there after almost not even 24 hours. So it's a little over 12 hours, 14 hours, whatever it is. Yay. And you guys are kicking it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
really
you got
cool.
some great rewards there too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff. From the postcards, and we got some really, really sweet prints. We got some really awesome stickers. Not probably non-traditional stickers, but they fit the story.
Yeah.
And Ammon and I are both offering commissions. And we've got a black and white variant cover, original art that's not posted yet, but we're going to get that up the next couple of days. So there will be pages from the book available. Just more stuff coming. We got everything up there we could up until yesterday, but there is additional stuff to be added. But it's
very cool. It's very cool. Now you've been now I've known you, better part of a decade.
Yeah.
I know we had seen each other at shows, and I think the first time we actually met, you came over to my table at Heroes. Like, I see you everywhere. What's your name?
Who are you, and why are you here?
Yes. Who are you, and what do you do?
I was going to say, he did his Arnold. He's like, who's your daddy, and what does he do? It's not a tumor. It's just the way I look.
It's my friend Harry from work.
So I mean that's when we first met, and then over years we've just become really great friends, and we all share so many of the same friends. I know you and Sean Forney are doing some live sketching and drawing online, and
we have on Thursday nights we do a thing we started a couple weeks ago called Hasm Thursday Night Throwdown. It started off as Hasm Presents, and then we changed it to Thursday Night Throwdown. And Sean joined us on that, and then on Friday nights I joined him on his show.
Okay.
And we just draw and talk all things nerdy, and it's been really fun.
That's been the cool thing about this technology we're using for the show here is that we can actually still all interact, even though we can't all be together right now.
Yeah.
And that's been the hardest part is all that. I'm going to get a little more light here. I'm also in the shadows. There we go. Now you can see
your witness protection.
Step into the light.
I don't want to go into the light. I don't know. It's weird. I'm getting as good a light today, so there we go. We'll just try that. That works. But yeah, it's and that's been the cool thing about this is I know the last time we had you on the show, we were doing it from a studio, so we can all hear your audio.
Right.
And actually, then I believe you were actually doing your part-time driving job. What he called?
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And but this is cool that we get to hang out like this, and I've been enjoying. I pop in once in a while and check out some of the drawing going on, and I miss that because that's a lot of people that don't come to Comic Cons. They should come out for the evening stuff when they used to be, and used to be better at some shows, but a lot of us still get together in the hotel lobbies or even some of the after party stuff and just hang out and do some drawing and stuff like that. And used to be a lot of really cool, like almost drawing competitions where people are like, okay, you got like 5 minutes and people just whip stuff out. It's kind of where a lot of the drink and draws kind of burst from.
Yeah. And we once again, we usually ended up doing that with Sean and Stephanie. But yeah, it's I've done it with several different people, but yeah, that's one of the most enjoyable parts about the show is once you've spent 10 hours drawing at the table, you take your drawing pad and your little bag of tools to the bar with you or the restaurant with you and draw some more. So
see, that's because most of us don't actually drink at the shows. Well, I know some do. We kind of actually try to stay lucid so we can actually talk to people. But afterwards, we're like, I need a beer and more beer, and I'll draw stuff. And I think some of the best stuff I've gotten, kind of drawing wise from different people, not really commissions, but people say, here, keep this, is because it's drunk drawings. A good friend of ours, who we passed several years ago with Josh Metters, we were drinking at the bar and he goes, hey, I might be getting Moon Knight, and that's when they were talking before he got diagnosed and wasn't able to get Moon Knight. And so he sat there, he goes, here, and he drew up this, I still have it in my folder. It was just probably one of the best drawings. Like he was so gone, he didn't remember drawing it the next day.
That sounds like Josh.
But so I mean that's cool, and I know Sean's got a lot of stuff going on too. But I think this is great. So now you've been doing like I said, you've been doing it in product. I know the I'm gonna get it wrong. Peanut butter,
peanut pudding and jelly.
See, I always want to say peanut butter and jelly, but it's not.
You're not alone.
I know. So peanut butter and jelly. Now, I knew when I met you that you had just started doing that, and I know you've added pitter patter since then.
Yes.
Why don't you kind of go back? You've been doing this for a long time. Talk about some of the stuff you've done besides that, if you want to.
Oh, okay. Well, way back when in the 90s, started it all with a superhero book called The Superior 7. Me and my friends from high school started that, and we did that for a few years. We published 5 issues of that, and we actually produced 11 issues of it, but 5 of them only saw print. Because we had the distinction of being that springboard book that people would get on and do 16 pages and they get hired by Image or whoever and bounce off and disappear. So it was funny because I finally got all of my stuff from my mom's house about a month or so ago and brought it over to the studio. And I was going through it, and we have more unpublished Superior 7 than we have published Superior 7. I think we have an additional 7 issues in various stages of completion in my box.
Wow.
So yeah, but we did that. We published 5 issues of that, and then that springboarded us into coloring comics, and we colored comics for other people for probably 7 or 8 years, and then everybody did that gross thing where they got married and decided to, have kids and move apart. And I didn't do that. And I went and got the dreaded day job.
It's like the summer of '69 in the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I got the day job and I blew out my back, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it got me back to drawing again. Because back when we were doing the Superior 7, I did everything but draw. I wrote it, I lettered it. I was a background inker, which I did on G.I. Joe as well. But I did everything but actually draw it. So I kind of got out of drawing for a while. And then when I was holed up in my bed and couldn't do anything, I started drawing again. And then I met Tina during that process, and I used to tell her about the glory days. And she was like, well, why
Little did she know.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you do it again? And of course, back at that time it was a low period for me, and I was wallowing in self-pity. And as Tina, if you guys know Tina, she don't allow that, so she kicked me in the butt and was like,
I'm sure she kicked you somewhere else too.
Yeah. So we started, that was the genesis of Hasm Productions. And she said, well, I was like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. And she's like, well, what can you do? And I said, well, I can draw cartoony stuff, cute cartoony stuff. So we came up with, we actually were going to shows and doing recon, because she was like, how does this comic book thing work? So we went to a couple of shows. We went to Pittsburgh, and I found a guy that I wanted. We were going to restart to Superior 7. And that was a whole nother thing, but we won't go into that. And on the way back from Pittsburgh, we had the discussion about the peanut pudding and jelly, and how it using the kids in their imaginations and have them dressed up in like underwear and towels wrapped around their heads. And that's what they look like actually, but in their imaginations, they're the kids in the real costumes and stuff. We didn't end up going with that idea, but we just, went with, they get their costumes and they become peanut pudding and jelly. So we've done 6 issues of that. We actually have a 7th issue on the shelf. And it's received, good acclaim and stuff. People that read it like it. A lot of teachers who have bought it, like they'll buy it on a Saturday and they'll come back to the show on a Sunday and go, oh my God, can I get some more of these for my classroom? So that's really rewarding. They really dig it. And then I created Pitter Patter a couple years ago, as you can see behind me, Buddy and Dude there on the banner. And we've got 1 issue of that published, and I'm working on a 2nd issue, but it's grown since we started the 2nd issue. So I'm basically doubling the size of the 2nd issue, and kind of reinventing a little bit, because we started working with an editor, Casey Pierce, who edits Roadkill Rampage.
We know Casey quite well.
Yes, she's awesome. She's a sweetheart of a girl. So we just, so I just started peeling back more of the layers on the characters, and it's, we're going to show a lot more in the next issue of Pitter Patter. So that's going to be fun and exciting.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, things are really going for you guys. I mean, that's, all of us has been, affected by how this COVID's taken over everything and changed our world for now. And it's great to see that it's, a lot going on. Scott and I and Kevin Miner started up Bardstone this year. We had 2 Kickstarters. Now you've got your first Kickstarter going on with Roadkill Rampage, which is, a complete departure from the kid-friendly stuff you've been doing. I love that you guys did a movie poster. I'm gonna bring that up.
Oh yes.
And
how cool is that?
I love it.
That. Yeah, I so love it.
This is straight up Grindhouse. This is it's what Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino were dealing with their Grindhouse movie that they did. Yep. And so it definitely fits in that realm of movies, like these great 60s and 70s drive-in B movies that would show like at 1 o'clock in the morning after the main features were done, and this kind of fits in that. And I love this. So where did this idea come from?
Okay, well there are 2 points of origin for this story. One, do you guys remember back when ABC was doing the ABC Movie of the Week way back in the 70s? It was actually a theatrical release, Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was
Peter Fonda. Yeah, Peter Fonda. Vic Morrow was in it. I can't remember the lady's name, but anyway, when I was a little kid, that came on the TV like once a month. And when I was young, between the ages of 5 and 11, we lived in Evansville, Indiana, and Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. So we would drive back and forth every weekend from Evansville to Cincinnati so my mom could see her mother and my stepfather's mother. And so every weekend we were on the road, back and forth, which is where I think my love of music comes from, because we would listen to music the whole way. But that movie and just driving and running from the cops and stuff really, and the way that movie ends was really stuck with me. As a 6 or 7 year old kid watching that dramatic ending. And I don't know, for whatever reason, that movie and Planet of the Apes really. Before, this is all pre-Star Wars. Once Star Wars hit, it was all over. So that movie, and then
there was a world pre-Star Wars.
Yeah. I hear tales of it, but I'm actually going to do a story and Peanut Pudding and Jelly of pre-Star Wars, or when they go see Star Wars. But that's going to be a while. And anyway, so my part-time day job is I pick up and deliver cars for a fleet company. And so I'm all over the 5 surrounding states: Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Michigan, and so one day I just happened to be up in Columbus, which is in a perpetual state of construction. And
sounds like Michigan.
Yeah, High Street has never been finished.
Yeah. So I was in construction traffic. It was a Friday. It was 300 degrees outside, and I'm going about 5 miles an hour. And I look over on the side of the road, and there's this baby raccoon laying there. And he was laying with his back to me as I was approaching him, and he had his arm extended out, and his little fingers were up, and he just looked like he was laying there sleeping. And I love little cute animals to begin with, so I knew he was dead, and I just felt terrible. And as I drove past him and I was looking back at him, I'd seen his little face, and his fur was just blowing real gently in the wind, and he just looked so at peace and serene. And I thought to myself, where was he going? Who's going to miss him? What's his story? And, since he was a baby, I thought, young deaths always bothered me a lot, because, there's so much potential that's unrecognized that does never get to happen. So I just started thinking about when he died, where was it so angry? Was, so, and that's the genesis of the story. And then my mind just went nuts. Yeah. So I grabbed my cell phone and I got the voice recorder and I just started talking into it. And 25 minutes later, I had Roadkill Rampage.
Nice. All because of construction.
Yes. So thank you, Ohio Board of Transportation or whatever.
That's cool. That's funny. I think it's how a lot of the stuff that we all do comes from. It's just like out of nowhere, some little spark, and you got the full story and that stuff. So this is the first comic. Now we talked before we got in here. You're looking at this being a 4-issue miniseries then. Yeah.
Yes. At the very least. So yeah, if it becomes a thing, there's no reason to stop at 4 issues. But yeah, right now it is scheduled for my first story arc is 4 issues.
Okay.
Nice. As I was saying before the show started to you, the feel of it is it would be perfect as like a Tales from the Crypt or Creep Show or maybe even a Twilight Zone. It's got that nice creepiness to it that if you like those kind of things, I think it would be like this is right up your alley if you like those things.
Yes, exactly. And it's funny. I had another podcast guy from Denver. His name is Brian. I apologize, Brian. I can't remember his last name. He was saying that he can totally see it as a movie, and he asked if I wrote it as a movie, and I said, kinda, because, and I'm sure you guys can relate. The images and stuff are so vivid in my mind,
right?
That in my mind it is a movie,
right?
And I'm just trying to get it all down before I lose it.
Exactly.
And so when I met Eamon, we just had this connection, and we got each other. And the one scene in there that the climactic scene where he does what he does to who he does it to. We talked about that scene, and he had reservations about it and concerns about how I wanted to portray that. And I said, well, Eamon, I'm a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock and the whole less is more approach. And he was like, got it. I am too. And from that point on, it's just been perfect.
Nice.
We have a lot of the same senses and sensibilities. They have a lot of the same influences, the old grindhouse horror movies and stuff from the 70s and the 80s. So, and it's got that feel. And, your guys' reaction to that and you guys saying that has been the one consistent thing that everybody has said. It feels like a movie from the 70s or 80s. And I'm like, yes, then I did my job.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could definitely see this. This when I was reading it, it reminded me of Robert Rodriguez's second movie he did, and Road Racers, and it was basically a made-for-TV movie, and it had that grindhouse feel, that old movie feel, and definitely it captured that whole spirit of the cinema in this comic and that. So I mean, it could be an episode on one of the shows. It could be its own grindhouse movie. I could definitely see that. It'd be fun. So if somebody's got like, I don't know, $500,000. Let's make a movie.
Yeah, come on, let's do it. Right now.
We don't need a lot of money. We'll get no-name actors. We'll get some crappy cars and go from there. So, Sean Hilton's got a question here. Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy? Down there from Kokomo.
There he is. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Sean?
Hey, Rodney. What was the name of the mini comic that you worked on that had a rock and roll theme? I think they were put together with safety pins.
The Veins.
The Veins.
The Veins. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Yeah, it was a rock and roll band that were all vampires.
Okay.
Nice.
And they actually appeared on the David Letterman show.
So would you say they sucked as a band?
Yes. But that's that was a fun little book. And it was landscape. It was a small little flip book, and we fastened them together with safety pins. And we sold them for $1 a piece. And I think there was maybe 3 issues or 4. I don't know. I think I did 5. And I think we only ended up doing 3. That's back when we were trying to find our feet, get our feet under us and decide what exactly we were going to do. but I've got it's over here. Actually, it's over here on the shelf. It's all in a little portfolio, all the original artwork and everything on that. So yeah, artwork's a little rough, but it worked. People that read it liked it. So
artwork always, as we're getting started, it always changes and we grow and we get better. And I'm one for, it's like, I know a lot of artists that want to get rid of the old stuff. Oh, it's not as good as I am now. I love that stuff because I love seeing the progression. I love seeing how people grow through their storytelling, visually and things like that. So I think that's always a good thing to keep out there. It's I was actually popped on and was listening to Indie Volt last night, which is our friend Varian, and they're showing that, and they were talking about someone he knows has like almost a 300-page graphic novel done. He's been working on for 30 years, but he wants to go back and maybe change the artwork. I commented, he's like, no, release it in sections. Say, here's from this era. Boom. Here's this part of the story. Here's this era, this sort of story, and preface it with, here's where I am, and you see the growth of somebody. I mean, we see that even in modern comics. You go back and look at early George Perez versus stuff he did, 20 years later, and there was a definite progression. That's how good of all of it is, and stuff like that, or even Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee, even you go back and look, they where people really give their height. Sometimes you go back 10 years and it's like, oh wow, they were where they were at, they grew to that, and it's always a good thing to see.
And
I have to say, my old stuff, it terrifies me. Stuff even stuff from 3 years ago, I look at, I'm like, how the heck did I sell anything at a show? I don't want it seen. I want it gone.
But that's a good thing though, because you're getting better. You're improving.
Right.
So
exactly. Yeah, it's I can totally understand the growth thing, but at the same time, you as an artist, you got to be proud of what you put out. Everything I put out at that time, I was very proud of. But if I were to put something out now with that old art, I would have to redraw it. I think. I don't think I could do it. I'd be like, oh, sorry, people. Sorry, I'm salting your eyes with this.
I kind of waffle in the middle. I'm like, because like if I would go back to do, thanks, Sean. Sean said it was it was fun and different. If I was, let's just take the Veins for example. If I was to relaunch that, I would have to go back and redraw it because. I mean, we could put the original things on the the Easter egg disc or whatever you want to call it, but I would have to go back because it's just like I mean, I even do that with Fina Pudding and Jelly. I look at issue 1 and I compare it to issue 4, and there's just a marked improvement.
I think the ultimate example is George Lucas. Every time he re-releases Star Wars, he had to change it.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes you overdo it, and then
a little bit. Yes. Yeah, that's a good example. He is the perfect example.
Oh yeah.
Now you're talking about all these different comics you've done. In your Kickstarter, one of the packages, this is the one I actually grabbed. I got Unchained and Arcana also. Okay. Talk a little bit about those comic books.
Okay. Unchained is a story that we did 8 years ago. We did one issue of it, and it got pretty good reviews from everybody. But it was one of those things where we did it. We got it out there. I kind of got it out of my system. But we did a very limited run of it, and the people that bought it liked it. So we were sitting around during the early on in the COVID thing in March, and we were thinking about, because we were preparing for this coming convention season, and books on the table, books on the table, books on the table. And I've been pushing to go back and touch that script up some because it's a little wordy. And since working with Casey, she has taught me some things about letting the art breathe more. And, so I was like, well, let's readdress this. And Tina was like, well, you just want to do, we can't just release it as is, and I was like, well, I've got an idea for a backup story. So I wrote a backup story. It's 6 pages, and we contacted the original artist, Brian McCraney, and he agreed to do the backup story. So yeah, the new issue, the new iteration of Unchained, it's about a kid from, the wrong side of the tracks. He comes from a poor household. He's broke and downtrodden, and he is picked on incessantly by the kids at school, and he suffers a fate. Something happens to him in the issue, in the class, and he loses his eye. So that just makes him feel even worse about himself. And then we go through a situation in a hospital where something happens to him, and he gets power. So, for me, it's an examination of the rich, the one percenters, and their machinations and stuff, and how it affects people like us. And especially him, a young kid coming into his own at 16, 17 years old, and suffering from, the effects of decisions made that were out of his control. And so now the playing field's leveled a little bit, and he's got all this power. So now it's, what does he do with his power? Does he become unchained? Is it unchained? Is he going to use it for good, or is he going to follow the path of the corrupted people in power? So it's an examination of that. So that's Unchained. That was a little wordy, but and then Arcana is Amon and Lish. Lish is Amon's wife. It's their first book, and it's the story of it's an evil that has been around since the beginning of time, and it goes through time, and it learns based on its confrontations with various forms of life, and it grows and morphs and stuff. And we join the story in the 1800s in a small town, and Edwin is an undertaker in this small town, and it comes back into town, and it does what it does in issue 1, and he's not sure that it's what he thinks it is, and he goes and he finds out that it is. So it's a setup issue, but it's really interesting. It's really creepy. We brought them under the umbrella of Hasm, and they are currently producing issue 2 as we speak. Amon's doing the artwork on that, and so that'll be out sometime this fall.
Cool. Nice. So it's kind of similar to what we're doing with Bardstone. We all have our own different series that we're doing. We're putting it together, and then you're creating a house where you can issue these things out. So you have a constant flow of something fresh for the fans, and keep it going. I think that's one of the unintended blessings, or whatever you can say, about this whole COVID thing, is people like all three of us, and Kevin and our other friends. Going to show after show after show takes so much time, and we all have these ideas that have been brewing, but it's time consuming. And now this has really given us the time to hunker down and say, let's produce, So I think that's been a really awesome thing to see with what you're doing at Hasm and everybody else.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is like I said earlier, we had very little online presence at the beginning of this pandemic, and now we're all over the place. Mm-hmm. And StreamYard, God bless them. They came along at the right time. So
that's right. We had learned about it just before it started, and so we started using it. And I know when Tina contacted me, I sent you guys the information what we used, and this is such a great platform for us as creatives to be able to showcase what we do.
Yeah. And God bless Tina. She has been. She just took the bull by the horns, and she's like, you know what? We've got all this stuff ready for the convention season. We need to somehow make some money. So, she'd been piddling around with the website for a couple of years, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And she sat down, and she ultimately got to the point where she found somebody to help her do it. And now we have a website. Pre-COVID, we didn't have the website, and you can go on the website and you can order the books. And we're doing these live draws, and we're, the three of us are talking. A year ago we weren't doing anything like that. So, like you said, Scott, it's a blessing in disguise.
Right.
And being at
And you're
home being at home and having the time to just crank everything out is great. I mean, when we actually finally get back to a convention, we're going to have twice as many books to offer that we did before, and that's great.
Right. So, Brett, I just shared
Yep.
their website here.
Yeah, I was just bringing that up myself.
Okay.
So
yeah, if you got it, feel free to do yours.
Yep. Let me. I want to copy the link so everybody has the link seeing us on the bottom here, and so there we go. Got that going here for you. Where am I? There I am. Here we go. There's the page, and you got links to the.
There it is. And the page looks great. You did a great job with that page.
Yeah, that's all Tina. So, and
we
Sean
may have to hire her for Bardstone.
Yeah, Sean says thanks to Tina for setting up all the StreamYard stuff. She kicks our butts into gear.
Yeah, this is great. I like your Christmas sneak preview here. Halloween 1975.
That's you know what's funny is I was in Evansville, Indiana last week for the job, and there's a comic book store there now, and there's never been a comic book store there. Well, I mean, I haven't lived there since '79, but I did a U-turn and went over because they were open, and I put my mask on and I went inside and talked to the guy, and I said, I grew up here, and that article is actually from the Evansville Courier. That was we put that in the issue. I mean, issue 1 is basically, that issue is Peanut Pudding and Jelly's semi-autobiographical, but issue 1 actually happened, and that article is recap of issue 1. And so I was telling him about it, and I told him about the Kickstarter. I gave him a business card and everything. So I don't know. He didn't seem much interested. He was more a back issue kind of store. But it was like, I was like, man, where were you 40 years ago?
He's probably like, my mom was wiping my behind. So
yeah.
So I think it's great. This is a great website you guys got going on. Tina did a fantastic job, and I know her and I have communicated quite a bit over the last several months about a few things, and as she's trying to help you guys get more and going. And she really is your kind of your business manager. She's really got everything going for you, so that's awesome.
Yes, she is the absolute backbone of Hasm Productions, without a doubt.
So while we're talking about some of the stuff you got going on, let's check in on the Kickstarter since we got on. We were at what, $450?
$450. Let's see where we're at.
Boom, new backer. Got $480.
Oh, there we go. $480.
So, number 19 is up.
So you guys got some cool
backer number 20. You're in the warm-up box. Get up there.
Come on, one more backer during the show, and we're at 50% for these guys. And
come on, we can do it. We can do it. We can get to 500 before we're done.
Yes. So really cool. But this is awesome. You guys, a lot of cool stuff going. Let's and since we got it up, I wanted to go through and there's the cover and everything else that's going to look like for the major cover here. As you can see, I supported the $20 one because I wanted to get all the cool roadkill stuff.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
But let's look at the stuff you got here. Heck, just a basic $5 pledge, y'all can get the PDF, and that's a great way to read it. And you still are supporting that. And then the other $5 or more is just give me some roadkill. So you can looks like you get one each of the stickers sent out to you. So that's really cool.
You guys got to offer like a roadkill cookbook. Maybe with issue 2.
That's funny. There we go. Hang on, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, do that.
Well, you are down there in Kentucky. I'm sure you can find tons of recipes. So.
Hey, now.
Hey, my family's from Kentucky originally, so I know. And so it's not like they're from West Virginia. Jeez, But I love this. You got an $8 pledge here. Early bird gets the worm. You got 14 hours to go on that. There's 2 left of the 10. So 2 more backers can get this. For $8, you get the print copy, signed by Rodney and Iman, and then a digital PDF. The $10 one will be the standard one after that. So that's just the nice basic one there. I like the black. Actually, have a black and white variant. I was actually a little torn. I was like, I kind of like that, but I went with the all the regular stuff too, and that. So. And then the Roadkill Rampage with stickers is the other $15 one of the other $15 options.
Everyone loves stickers.
Yeah, I gotta have stickers or the mini prints. I like the mini print idea. We did that on where Scott did that with the Crimson Shadows. I think it's a great way to get some cool artwork, and it doesn't take up a lot of space.
Exactly.
And then there's the postcard set, and then this is the cool one too. The $20 the package. This is what we talked about a little bit already with Unchained issue 1.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, Arcana of Arcara physical copy signed by the artist writer for both projects. And then mystery swag. Everybody likes mystery swag.
Ooh, mystery swag is always good.
What am I going to get? And you open up and go like, oh, man, it's stuff that has nothing related to this, but that's mystery.
You might get a spleen. You never know.
Yeah.
It's box. What is this?
It's like the mystery boxes, and you buy it, and it's like, oh, this is a really cool Mario mystery box, and you open it up, and it was all kinds of promotional information for a book that only women would read. And then kind of jump right up here. You jump up to $75 to get an Amon Hill commission. Now, does that include it doesn't include the book, too? It's just the commission, right?
Yeah, that's just the commission.
Yeah, limited 1 of 2 left on that. And then you've got the Rodney Fyke one. You've got 2 of 2 left on that. And I like this. $100, you could actually be an issue 2.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
oh, yeah.
Nice.
So that's very cool when you're looking at December 2021 for that. So that's all the current ones there. And then I was going to show off a little bit of the art here. This is a really cool black and white book, which I think this story really, being in black and white, lends a lot to it. If you were to do it in color, you'd have to have more of a muted tone to it, just because the darkness brings out to it. I mean, the main bad guy over here, I'm circling with my mouse here. You can see is he just kind of fits here. He's this main guy. And you see that from the cover in that. And
now, is there anyone in your life that was the inspiration for him?
Actually, yes. Eamon told me that when he was younger, his older sister, dated a guy, and this is the guy.
Oh my goodness!
He says he just remembers him coming to the porch, and he would open the door, and the guy would be there with his leather jacket on, and he stunk of cigarettes, and Eamon just did not like him. And Eamon's a big guy. I mean, he's 6'5". He weighs 300 pounds. But I don't know how big he was back then. But he just to watch him talk about this guy, and to see the way he portrays him, you can just tell that there was a lot of conviction in this approach to this character. So so he is from real life.
All right.
Yeah, and then we've got his girlfriend there as they're traveling, and then we have a squirrel,
Mr. Squirrel.
Yeah. Probably we can't get too much into it because the whole story this is where it starts right here. But just some really cool stuff. Like this, you got a nice little video playing to show some of the work being done, and some of the inking and coloring work and all that stuff. This is really cool. I love what you guys do with the Kickstarter, showing off a lot of the artwork.
Yeah.
You can see the depth within the line work and the inks and that, and just an intense feel to it. I was reading through it because we got preview copies of it, and very intense feel. I mean, you just get right into it. So
yeah.
So let's talk. We talked about Amon. We've also got. It looks like you got a letter. Dave Lintz is lettering the book for you guys.
Yes, and I tell you what, he is invaluable. Dave Lintz. He's from the Philadelphia area. He is not just a letterer; he's our graphic designer as well, and he has just shaped the look of the book graphics wise. That cover and all the English on the cover, it's just like wow. And he it's so funny because he's so enthusiastic about what he does, and he's so passionate. It's so great, and we get along great. We're both kind of into the same thing, and we both like the heavy metal music and stuff like that. The couple of times that we've talked on the phone, it's so funny too because we refer to him as Tina's online husband, number one, because she'll be sitting there and she's texting somebody and she starts giggling, and I'm like, "How's he doing?" I know exactly who she's talking to because he's just got the greatest sense of humor. Yeah, so he's amazing graphic designer and letterer. He does a lot of lettering and design for a lot of people. So
very cool. And of course, you mentioned Casey Pierce a few times, and I know Casey personally, so does Scott, and
yes.
we've seen her around. She's got her sci-fi series Nora, that you guys mentioned there, as well as a bunch of other stuff, and so that's cool. You got her working on into that, and then of course Hasn't Productions. You mentioned you and Tina started that back in 2009, and and you've been publishing comics since 2010. So that's about. I've known you pretty much almost the whole time now, which is really great. So a lot of cool stuff going on there, and then of course the rewards. I love that you got some graphics of the rewards here. So definitely people, I mean, prices are great, Yeah.
Go
ahead.
The postcards, those are fun. I've snuck a lot of little Easter eggs on the back of it, the return addresses and stuff like that. Because it's Ace and Tess both sending a postcard home from the little store that they stop at.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a nice little touch. And that's, I can't wait to get those just for me, because it's in that third one there, the boot. That was so funny because Eamon and I both discussed that, and it's not anything what we discussed. But when I got it, he texted it to me, and when I got it, I was like, a boot. That's not anything like we discussed, but it's brilliant. And then he told me, well, I'm going to put a raccoon's claw coming out of it. And I was like, oh, my God, I love it. So, and we were talking about it the other night. And I was like, I'm looking at it. And I said, and that boot just reminds me of the Crow for whatever reason. He's like, yep, that was a big influence. And so, those postcards are neat. For anybody out there that's looking to get a tier, the postcards are fun. You'll get a kick out of them.
Nice. That's fantastic. And again, I love the as I showed it earlier here, the movie poster.
Yes.
I love how you have it weathered and like
the lines already through it has been folded.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And then of course you talk about the commission, and there's some of Rodney's and Naaman's commission samples, and I have a sketch cover Rodney did a couple of years ago of Donald Duck as Han Solo.
Oh yeah.
About that, I forget, a couple 3 years ago. Love that, and a lot of cool stuff. And I've watched Rodney draw at shows for years. And if you haven't seen, it's funny. He's got everything set up, table, light, and he can just crank it out. And somebody's go over, you just stare at it for like 5 minutes, and he never moves because he's just right into it. Fortunately, he's got Tina when she comes back to the table, like, "Oh, hey, you want to buy something? Here you go."
Yeah. Yeah, I only get up to use the restroom.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I know. I feel like a slacker when I'm set up across from Rodney. He's working it away, and I'm just like standing around. I'm just like, I'm just.
You got it going on though. You've got the elevators on the table and all that, and I'm like, oh man, that's so cool.
So let's look at these stretch goals.
I love this bookmark. I love that illustration of the car. It's one of the panels in the book. He did such a sweet job drawing the car scenes.
Yes, yeah.
I suck at drawing cars.
I do too. It's not my thing.
I like drawing people.
Yeah, and he just excelled at the car. It's amazing.
That's a sweet bookmark.
Yeah. Definitely need to hit that for sure. As well as I'm looking at this coaster, and then of course the bumper sticker. You got to have a Roadkill Rampage bumper sticker going.
Roadkill Rampage.
Oh yeah.
It's just fun to say.
Yep.
It sounds like it would be like Sunday.
Yeah. And then of course, Sean's Forney's been popping in here. I said, we're talking about getting the StreamYard going and that, but Sean Forney, if you hit the $2,500 mark, you can get a Sean Forney print. That's a great addition to that, along with Adam Fields and Luke Stone. So and the goal is $1,000 just to start. I mean, that's a great goal. Definitely, I think it's very doable. And then the shipping, and I like that you did show how you get shipped. We learned this from Sean, the packaging, and this is some great packaging to help protect your stuff.
It really is.
Somebody posted a poster they got, and they're going to complain to the post office. And I'm looking at the packaging they shared. I'm going, it wasn't just the post office; it was the packaging. You got to have good, solid packaging, and this stuff protects the books and prints and everything.
And it's exactly what we used for Poe and for Crimson Shadows as well. and it's great. It's all because Sean used it for Scarlet Huntress.
Yeah. I tell you, we've been giving a lot of credit to Tina, which is well deserved. But Sean and Stephanie, they have they're the template, because Tina's been on the phone with Stephanie for the last 2 weeks almost nonstop. So yeah, I mean, we're just aping everything they've done, and thank God they've done it, because it's you need somebody to help you with experience and stuff, and they've done it all. They've been around forever, and they're so generous with their knowledge and the help and everything. So yeah, big hugs and shout outs to Sean and Stephanie Forney, definitely.
And the nice thing about Sean is all that help, all you have to do is give him a churro and he's happy.
You gotta get the right churro. It's gotta have
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles churros.
Fruity Pebbles churros. There you go.
We'll work for Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, like Sean says, he stole all his ideas from Polito and Marat Michaels.
Well, and that's really what we all do. It's a constant theft ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're
all just a bunch of thieves.
Yeah.
That's all part of the fun. It's an interesting relationship we all have, because we are competitors but friends at the same time. So we do all help each other, because we know we're all in the similar boat, and we do share ideas with each other and things like that.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodney.
I was going to say, you said that we're all competitors, and back in the 90s, it was a little more cutthroat.
Yes,
but I don't.
It doesn't feel like we're competitors.
No, I mean, you guys are my friends.
Exactly.
I don't look at you as competitors. Your success is my success, and vice versa. If there's anything I can ever do to help you guys, never hesitate to ask.
Exactly.
And I feel that sense of community and camaraderie and friendship. I love coming and seeing everybody and hanging out and knowing that, hey, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to do the same thing, separately and together.
I think it's where it's healthy competition is, because, if you do better, you're going to get more fans coming out to see you. If we do better, we're going to get fans out to see us, and all of us together enlarge that pool. Because right now the state of Comic-Cons is different. It's more of an autograph show now, and I'm really hoping that this surge of creativity, all of us going into making our own independent comics and coming up with these companies, I'm hoping they're as people are stuck home, maybe they're finding a love of reading comics again. And it's kind of sad that the hardest place to sell a comic book nowadays is a comic book convention. Yeah. And hopefully this kind of activity is, and all of us enlarging our own fan bases will help get those people out to shows to look at the artists, to look at the comic books and want to buy and spend that way. So that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I always harken back to the 90s, but back then, comic book conventions were for comic book collectors and readers. Mm-hmm. Before Iron Man, Artist Alley in the 90s was, Mike Mignola, J. Scott Campbell, Humberto Ramos, Bernie Wrightson, Ernie Chan, John Buscema. They were all in Artist Alley, and they were doing sketches for you, and you could stand there and you could talk to them, and over on the other side, there were B-list celebrities and wrestlers and stuff, but the show was about the comics.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to get back into doing now. And I truly believe that us, as creators, we're the new pool of stuff that's happening now, or it's going to be happening in the next 5-10 years.
And what's awesome is with like the power of something like Kickstarter, we have printing companies like Ready Comics and other ones where they make it affordable to print. There's outlets like Amazon where you can publish through Amazon. The power really has been taken from those studios to decide what people or what content gets put out there, where we are able to go direct to the fans now and make it happen. And that's what's so awesome about what's happening today, I think.
Yeah. We're limited only by our
imaginations
and our work ethic.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is I agree with everything's been said. I've always felt when people talk about the competition at shows, I look and say there's really no competition.
Yeah.
Fans like what they like. And I tell people, like, when they come to my table and they buy stuff and I say, hey, have you checked out? And I always mention all my pals.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Oh, I haven't checked them out. I say, you got to go check those out. And if they don't like what I offer, so I say, well, what are you looking for? And when they tell me, I say, oh, you need to go see so-and-so because they have what you're looking for,
Right.
and that's where I've never felt like if I see, Rodney doing great at a show and I'm not, or Scott doing great at a show and I'm not, it's not, I don't feel like, oh man, I can't believe they're making money and I'm not. It's like, okay, it's not my crowd today.
Right.
And it's this way it goes sometimes. And then there's other days where it is my crowd. And, but
sometimes
it's one of the things.
Day. Like, for some reason, you'll have a Saturday where everyone's buying from you, and then Sunday they're not. They're buying from someone. It's like, what happened? Why is the crowd today completely ignoring me? What's going on? But the thing is, each of our art, our comics, our product, it's its own language, and each customer has their own language, and your art will speak when you find that person that your art speaks to. They love it and they want it, and
it's definitely done that. Yep. And we've all built this community, and this is where, like, just doing the podcast today, it's Rodney's not paying to be on here. I contacted Rodney because Rodney's a friend and we got to help promote each other.
But if Rodney does want to pay,
yeah, it's only $50 a week, and we'll promote the Kickstarter every week for you.
I left my wallet upstairs.
Don't worry, I can send you an invoice. You can pay online digitally. But yeah, but it's like Sean Forney jumping in. I mean, we've got a huge group of people. Well, it feels huge anyways, but realistically, it's just a small community. We all know each other.
Yeah.
We've got, Sean Forney, Sean Hilton is jumping in. Sean's down there in Kokomo, Indiana, runs a great comic shop, puts on the Kokomo Con every year. It's a great fun show. Definitely when Comic Cons get going, they should be running that one again.
Great guy.
And I've done his show. It's been a few years since I've done it, and it's I love doing it every year. Sean always puts on a great show. Is definitely a good proponent for independent comic producers, stuff like that, because that's what's at his show is all us independent guys, and he brings in a couple named people here and there. And then, like I said, Sean Forney's doing a lot of work out there. We've had Sean on the show a few times, and they've got the Scarlet Hunters, and then what Scott and I have been doing independently, Kevin Miner, and then all of us doing stuff together. It's just a great thing. So I love that we have a chance to promote here. Quick update: we're still at 480 guys. So
how do people find Roadkill Rampage to support it?
You can go to Kickstarter, obviously. The Hasm.com, the website. Go there.
That's HAZZUM.
Yes. And for all things Hasm, go there and check out all the books, and Roadkill Rampage especially.
Awesome.
Then I am on the Art of Rodney Fyke on Facebook. I'm always posting artwork and stuff like that. Instagram, Rodney Fyke Instagram. And
then you have that Thursday night throwdown.
Yes, the Thursday night throwdown every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And then I am on with Sean Forney on his drawing show on Friday nights. We call that Friday Night Raw.
Awesome.
Draw. Yes.
Friday Night Draw. And don't say Raw, though. Vince McMahon will come after you.
Yeah, there's a cease and desist on the way now.
Yeah, he's already on it.
By your email and everything is hitting out like ding, 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 ding. We knew you were going to say it ahead of time. Well, Rodney, this was a blast, man. I see good success with this. You're only $520 away from the goal. You guys got 29 days to help support this, so definitely check it out. Throw some money at it. Heck, even just a $5 you just want to support always helps out with everything. I know we appreciate it on Crimson Shadows and Poe Macabre, so definitely do this. Check it out. And Rodney, we'll be checking in with you again. Let us know how things are going.
Excellent.
And we'll definitely have to have you back on again as you guys continue with more production. So I'm going to get ready here and close out the show. So, hey, guys, join us next week. Don't know who we'll have on. Probably just Scott and I. But
before we go, it is San Diego Comic-Con weekend. It was canceled, but they are doing the virtual San Diego Comic-Con. So I know I have an online store. I believe Sean does also. He might be doing special streams this weekend also.
Yes, he is.
For drawings. Yeah, so keep an eye on Sean Forney. I will be doing some streams this weekend also to sell some commissions and some other things as well. So if you know an artist who was supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con, we have these online Comic-Con stores they gave us that we set up. So look for it. I'm sure you can Google it and find it that way. So.
And we'll try to get some, have Scott share some links when he's doing it on the Odd Musings page as well as Bardstone page. And Rodney, if you do anything over the weekend, definitely try to tag us in that for the Odd Musings, and that way everybody can see that too. So, hey, till next week.
Before you wrap up, I wanted to thank you guys for having me on.
Hey,
it means a lot that you reached out to me and offered the platform. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome on anytime, Rodney. So if you're ever just sitting around and want to jump on there in a regular show, let us know. We'll pop you on.
Awesome.
It's been a blast, man. We had a great time. So we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Here we go.